Hi everybody, it's springtime here in Western Pennsylvania, and you're at home with Melissa, where today we are, today we're working really hard. I have some goji berries that I've been growing in the house, and today I'm planting them outdoors. The reason is, as you can see, it's kind of overcast. Now, when you have plants that have been grown indoors, or even in a greenhouse, before you move them outdoors, it's a good idea to acclimate them slowly. And the way you do this is that you take them outside and put them in a somewhat shady location for a few hours a day, increasing the time gradually. Ooh, bunny rabbit just a few feet away from me. Nice. Anyway, you go ahead and chipmunks too. Wow. Lots of critters out here today, and there are two chipmunks chasing each other. It is springtime after all, and they're right behind you. But anyway, you want to gradually acclimate them usually to the outdoors. And the reason is, if you take them from a greenhouse or indoor setting and plant them immediately outdoors, no matter how much light you've had on them inside, it's nothing compared to the sunlight. And generally, they will just fry. And people take days to up to like a week to properly acclimate their plants. And right now, and that involves taking them out during the day for a while, bringing them back in, increasing the time, making sure they're staying watered, and things like that. It really is annoying, if you ask me. I hate doing that. But right now, with the strange situation I'm in, I need both knees replaced, and I need several bones removed from my spine, and they're going to put in rods and pins. In 3 weeks, I have an appointment. I've had an MRI done here just recently to give them an updated view of my spine. And in 3 weeks, I have an appointment to meet with the surgeon to discuss things, and I think at that point, they'll schedule my surgery for that. Both knees also need replaced. I've got bones rubbing on bones. In the one knee, it's to the point where one bone is actually sanding the other bone down. You can see that. And the bottom of my right leg is actually dislocated quite a bit from the top of the leg. So I've got problems, and they need to be fixed. The symptomology and the pain and things are getting to the point where they're really interfering with things I want to do. So that means that as I'm going out here, I want to share this stuff with you. And I'm not telling you about my health problems and things like that to go, no. Just letting you know what's going on, and, you know, kind of, you might be having similar issues. I mean, not the same thing, but basically, a lot of us out here have some serious health problems. And if I can do things, most of you can do them too. And it's just a matter of thinking and planning, and you might have to curtail what you could do. For example, right now, carrying heavy things is hard for me because I'm having difficulty walking. And so, as I'm trying to plant these things outdoors, I have some grow beds. Right now I'm working on filling a grow bed with dirt to plant a goji berry bush. I'm doing that today because, back to what I was saying about acclimating plants to the sun. Some of these plants that I have that need to go outdoors are pretty big. And so that would be a lot of heavy lifting and carrying and stuff like that. And right now, I'm just not all that capable of doing it. I don't like doing it anyway, to be honest with you. I don't like that acclimation process. Most everything having to do with gardening, I absolutely love. I don't like weed eating because it hurts my back, and I don't like the taking plants out to acclimate them because it just annoys me. So what I'm doing is I'm coming out today. It's overcast, and we're supposed to have a good deal of rain throughout the rest of the day, and I'm hoping that if I plant in these conditions some of my plants that need to go outdoors, that will give them a chance to kind of get used to things. Maybe they won't burn and things like that. That's the big concern when you bring plants outside from inside, is that the sunlight's just too intense for them and they'll burn. And what I'll do is I'll keep a good eye on them over the next few days, and if they seem to be struggling at all, I will cover them with a shade cloth during part of the day. So that's how I'm going to deal with that. That way I don't have to carry things in and out that weigh a good deal of weight. I'll just have a little sheet that I need to put over them on occasion. And that's good. At this time of year, we usually can expect to have some frosts. It's been incredibly warm, and we haven't had the frost. We didn't have much of a winter, and I know that those are conditions that a lot of people around the world can identify with right now, you know, the changing environment and things. But so the goji berry, I want to make sure it goes in the ground today. I would like to also plant, I have some pampas grass. I would like to plant it outdoors today too. Today kind of, as so often happens, got away from me in the morning. I had some calls I had to make and they all took longer than I thought they would. So I'm not going to get to do as much as I wanted to outside, but hopefully the goji and the one goji and the pampas, hopefully I'll be able to get those in the ground today. If not, then I'll try to do it tomorrow. And I am, as I go along, I'm also harvesting some things. And I know in previous videos I've talked about how it's best to grow your plants indoors and things. If you're feeding them to indoor pets, you want to avoid possible pests and plague and all that stuff bringing it in. Out here on my property, however, I have a lot of really good, really nutritious things. So I'm kind of changing my stance on that a bit, because I've always used them for myself, and I'm going to use them for my pets as well. Wash them really well when I take them in before feeding them to my pets. And so far, I have some things that I've harvested that I want to show you. And this is just things that happen to be growing where I happen to be removing dirt from a pile to just add volume to the grow bed in which I'm planting the goji. Right here, this, and I really do hope that you can see me well. I can't see the screen all that well outside to know, but this is wild mustard. I'm taking this inside and I'm going to hang it from the rafters in my kitchen and let them dry, unless I use them while they're still fresh. I know I won't be cooking them today. I'm going to my mother's house for dinner, so these will be a good thing. I'm going to put them on a roast. Then I have here, these are dandelion leaves. A lot of you recognize that. Look how dirty it is. That's because I threw it in a dirty bucket. But dandelions, and here's a flower from them. Okay, these are your dandelions, and these are the dandelion leaves. These have more vitamin A in them than spinach. Yes. The only thing is, once a bud is produced by the plant, from that point on, the leaves are kind of bitter. Now, some people like that. Arugula and things like that are kind of bitter. I don't like it. I like them when they're still nice and sweet before there are buds. But the ducks and the lizards in the house might really enjoy these. I'm going to try them on them and see. I'm also going to dig out some dandelion roots and preserve those. Now, here's another thing, that this is burdock leaf, and I've shown you, look at the insects have really gotten to this one, but I've shown you these in the past. And now in the spring, if you're harvesting burdock root for cooking, this is the time to do it before the plants get really big and things like that. And the younger plants, those in their first and second year, are actually the best ones to harvest for the roots, because they're not yet woody and things. So I'm harvesting some of those as I go as well, because they have spread, and so they're in a lot of places. I'm hoping to also kind of clear out some of the debris from off of the mint, because even though it's still early in the season, the mint has taken off and it's really getting high. And so I want to hurry up, get in there and get those removed. And something else I'd like to do is to build a privacy barrier at the back of my property. There's an alley that runs there, and I think about it almost obsessively. And you guys might have projects like this too. You have a lot of different ways you can do these things. I have some 8-foot tall metal T-bars, and basically those are the little, I think they're called T-bars. Basically they're the metal posts that hold up, say, chicken wire and things like that. I have a bunch of those that have surrounded my blueberry bushes over the past few years, allowing the blueberry bushes to get a little bit higher and a little bit stronger so that the bunny rabbits don't kill them off. I have tons of animals in my house, wild animals who just run around, and so I have to keep them in mind when I'm doing things. And so I can line the back of the property with those, cut down a tree, use the larger logs for some things that I want to do indoors, and kind of weave the smaller ones just as it doesn't have to be strong, it's just to keep some privacy going. So the fact that these are just going to be small sticks, I can weave them together and make kind of a mat and attach those to those poles. I can do that. Or I can use larger logs, bury them 4 feet down in the ground to below our frost line, and just make a nicer looking wood fence. However, you know, the wood won't be cured or anything like that, and wood going into soil, especially in a damp location, like we have a lot of rain around here, and so it's prone to rot. And it's also, once it rots, then it can attract termites, and we do have a termite problem in this neighborhood. So those are some things that you should be aware of if you're planning a fence. I think what I want to do is to make sure, this is what I'm leaning toward today, I want to make sure that the posts that go in the ground are metal. And I also want to keep in mind that at some point I want to get some miniature goats. And once the goats are here, I have to have a really good, you know, those of you who know anything about goats, you know they're escape artists. So I need to have basically a really good perimeter established around the property to not only give privacy and things, and to muffle sounds so that I have the nice, peaceful feeling like I'm out in the middle of woods thing that I like, and also so that once I do get the goats, I'm not going to have a lot of them. I intend to have 3, a male and 2 females, and then to use them for milk production. So the females, obviously, and so I want to also have a barrier to sound for that. And the pampas grass I'm planting, part of the reason for that is the privacy, and another part is, again, muffling sound. So that'll help me help the neighbors and everything else, and it'll block the view from here, which right now is not a pretty sight. And the reason it's not is just everything. I have neighbors who haven't mown their lawns, and my grass is much, much higher than theirs. I have natural springs that run through here. I also have a swampy area at the bottom of my property. I'm on a hill, and so everything tends to grow really fast on my property. And living in a town, it's good because I love it, but it's bad because the neighbors can see it, which means the neighbors could be really annoyed by it. And my own personal belief is that your property should be your property. As long as you don't encroach on anybody else's, they shouldn't worry about you, and you shouldn't worry about what they're doing with theirs either. And unfortunately, not everybody shares my beliefs, so I need to figure out a way to keep this. If you were a viewer of the channel last year, you remember me complaining about the same thing last year, because I was recovering still from lung surgeries. And yeah, no, I swear, I'm not this big wreck. Well, okay, I'm a big wreck right now, but I'm not usually a big wreck. And so my thoughts are that hopefully soon, as long as I stay away from crowds of people and all the chemicals that they put in the air through their sprays and all this stuff, that I'll be well and I'll be able to really, really kick butt. But right now, kicking butt isn't something I'm really capable of. So planning on putting the fence back there. I've got the pampas grass ready to go. I've shown you what I've harvested so far. Now let me show you just a view of the yard. It's going to be a little bit hard for me because I can't really see all that well what you're seeing, but okay. Yeah, did you like that? Okay. Here we've got some poison hemlock growing up, and some, I think it's catchfly, burdock, my pollen, my you can see off there is some red currants. They're doing well. Also have in the background there's a fire bush, it's doing well, and some elderberries. They're finally sprouting. Like, you know how they say that when you plant something outside, the first year they sleep, the second year they creep, and the third year they leap. Well, it's the third year for my elderberry bushes, and They are really taking off this year, as are my red currants. They're really taking off too. And I like that. I'm finding mint everywhere, which surprises me because it's never just appeared in other grow areas before. And I don't know how it ended up clear at the other side of my property, but it did. And this is something that if you want to grow mint, because a lot of people do, and it's a wonderful thing to have, and it self-propagates. Okay, and the yelling you hear is my dad next door, very happy. I think he has the grandkids with him. But if you want to grow mint, it self-propagates, which is a wonderful thing. Grows like a weed, very invasive. All these things are things that some people are bothered by. I like it. I like invasive stuff if it's stuff that I really want, because I like to know that it's going to do well. And the mint does. But you don't want to grow two different kinds of mint anywhere near each other. Because if you do, I got waved at. If you do, what you'll find will happen is that they'll crossbreed and it'll make them bitter and really unpleasant, and you won't want to use them. So keep in mind, if you're growing mint, you might want to, if you just have a yard in a town like I do, you might only want to grow one kind of mint. You don't want them anywhere near each other at all. Or maybe grow one kind of mint behind your house and a different kind of mint at the front, and make sure they don't cross past the middle point. Or grow some mints in pots in your house and only one kind out on your property. That's some good advice for mint. And look at this. Look at this. I'm going to show you the rest. Okay. That's back along the alley line. And the tall bushes there are lilacs, and those I actually cut down because they were very old and spindly and nasty looking and weren't making flowers. Finally this year they're getting a little bit higher, which I like. And I've got daffodils who finished their season, and then I have everything getting really high already, really high. But you can see I've got mustard, and I've got dandelions, and I have all these different kinds of wonderful things growing in the yard that I want to harvest. I'd like to just till everything, and this is kind of like the duck room. Oops. Where unfortunately I have big plans right now, but the situation's not allowing me to really complete things like I'd like. And hopefully soon that'll change, hopefully this year. And I'll be able to get back to where I can really do things quickly, work hard, and kick butt. But in the meantime, got to do things little by little. So today is the planting of the goji berries and the pampas grass, and just harvesting whatever happens to get in my way in the meantime. And I'm just doing this little vlog to let you know what's going on. I know I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while. It's been constant doctor appointments, and I was doing a lot of physical therapy and things, and it really didn't do a whole lot for me. So I've scrapped that. I said, okay, the physical therapy that I'm trying is not working. Let's just go for the surgery. So have to do what you have to do. And so today is that upcoming videos that I want to do. Still have not disconnected the electricity in the duck room. When I do that, when I do get around to it, I'll be doing a video to show you that, how you disconnect electricity. And I also want to do a really neat video, an update on the ducks, because as of last week, Bernadette has become a woman. Yes, she's a grown-up now, and she's giving me eggs every day, and I'm so proud of her. And I want to do that video for you. And I also want to do a video. I had had two baby lizards come to me, Bob and Jill. Bob was very sickly, and I did everything I could for him, and I babied him and I bathed him a lot. I did everything I could to try to get him well. And unfortunately it didn't work, and Bob passed away yesterday. So it's just Jill, but I would like to, she's doing really well. She's a really healthy girl. I want to do a video for you on her as well. And just the library is finally just about done. I can share that with you. And so, you know, we have a lot coming up. We have a lot coming up, and a lot of instructional videos as well. I know that those are the ones that tend to be the most popular on my channel. And you know, I really appreciate that you guys like them, and I like sharing them with you, and I like sharing anything I know, and I like also reading comments that you guys supply us with. You know, it's all really neat, and so hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. I finally have my upcoming medical appointments for everything scheduled, and they're basically one a week spread all over this part of the country. So one a week's not too awful bad, provided that that my condition, that my spine and my knees and the lugs and everything, if they behave themselves at least to some degree, hopefully I'll be able to do some things and share them with you, because I really want to. I'm really excited. I mean, this is the prettiest time of year. Well, one of them. Okay, we have a lot of pretty times a year, but spring is great. Everything's coming to life. Everything's just exploding in color and greenery, and just you get to find all of these things that decided over the winter time that come spring they were going to grow, and you get to find all these things, and I want to share those with you, and I'm looking forward to it. And so hopefully we'll be back to really kicking butt and producing a lot of videos. And in the meantime, I hope you're out there also doing things in your house or outside that you enjoy, and I hope you join me again really soon for the next one, and we will talk to you again really quickly. Bye now.